As you go through Parabola University, you'll notice that things look a little bit different now in the product, and that's because with Parabola's latest update, to automate your manual work in Parabola, it's truly as easy as just describing in plain language what you'd like to automate. I'll show you how that works in just a second, but know for this course, to be successful in Parabola, you still need to understand the foundational concepts, which is why we focus on those fundamentals of Parabola in this course instead of just having AI build flows on your behalf. With that said, let's take a look at how easy it is to build in Parabola through the chat before we talk about some prompting best practices and use cases. At the heart of Parabola is an AI-powered chat interface that makes building feel conversational. Just describe in plain language what you'd like to automate, and Parabola will not only provide an overview of how to build your flow, but will also recommend best practices based on hundreds of thousands of other flows, and tap into our deep collection of use case specific knowledge to ultimately make sure your team is building with best practices and operational excellence in mind. Ultimately, Parabola will add the right steps directly to the canvas, helping you build a flow in a matter of minutes. Along the way, troubleshooting any errors and breaking down technical concepts, allowing operators to push the boundaries of automation further than ever before. If you've ever used an AI tool before, whether it's Parabola or ChatGPT, you already know that the more specific your prompts are, the better your results are going to be. Let's take a look at some specific examples of good prompts in Parabola, and then break down some of the best practices baked into those prompts. When you open a new flow, your first prompt might look something like, help me build a sales report broken down by SKU using the last 30 days of data imported from Shopify. Once we've loaded up our data, then maybe we ask, filter out any sales where the gift card value is not blank. Finally, we could ask, export this report via email by sending an Excel file to adam@parabola.io. Also, let's create a data visualization showing sales by week. Now, what are some best practices baked in here? First of all, when we are writing our initial prompt, we're including what our specific use case is and what data sources are actually involved. This is going to be especially useful for your first prompt because Parabola will become much more useful once we actually have data loaded up into our flow, because Parabola can actually see all of the data in your flow when it's chatting with you. Imagine a teammate asks, hey, can you help me with this Excel formula? You're going to be way more useful when you can actually see the Excel sheet and the data than if you're just talking about how to build this thing conceptually. Additionally, it's also helpful to include any details on the specific logic that needs to be incorporated, and specifically reference any columns that Parabola should know to include when we're transform data. If this feels really simple, it's because it's supposed to be. Our engineers literally said, when I asked them about best practices, just tell people to talk to Parabola the same way they talk to their favorite coworker. While adding steps to the canvas is obviously immensely powerful, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. Parabola can also automatically help you set up integrations and APIs, maybe connecting siloed systems for the first time ever. It can help you troubleshoot and resolve errors, actually taking action and fixing errors on your behalf. It can add documentation to your flows, whether that means renaming specific steps or adding documentation to cards. It can recommend best practices, help you streamline steps, assist in writing prompts for custom transform steps, and even explain what's happening in your flow. So if you're inheriting a process from a teammate, you can just ask Parabola to explain exactly what's going on in your flow. The list of things that Parabola can do is truly growing by the day. So the best way to really see the magic is just to start by telling Parabola what you'd like to automate. But first, be sure to learn the fundamentals and complete the building challenge in Parabola University to establish a strong foundation of knowledge.